In Russia, aside from fools and bad roads, there has always been another huge problem: rampant alcoholism. The addiction to alcohol in the swamps has reached biblical proportions. So much so that people there don't even consider it a problem. They are proud of their drinking. It's one of the main pillars holding everything together.
Naturally, of course, as you might expect.
The people who came up with drinking brake fluid, window cleaner, and hawthorn tincture are more than happy to keep drunks in power. All the presidents of modern Russia have been in the grip of the green serpent. Just look at Yeltsin and Medvedev.
But, well, let me think.
If everyone laughed at Yeltsin, and Dimka was long ago written off to reek of booze on Twitter, Putin was initially seen as something different: an athlete, a Komsomol member, and a teetotaler.
Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, please take me to war, or to Syria, or to Crimea. I want to take revenge for Russia, for the sake of our nation. But
that's only at first glance. In reality, Putin knocks them back no less, and maybe even more, than his Kremlin colleagues. Pinya has always loved to drink. He has admitted this himself more than once.
I didn't study very well at university, maybe because I drank a lot of beer in my free time. Beer. I think specialists say it contains a lot of female sex hormones.
There's nothing wrong with having a beer or something stronger. The main thing is to know when to stop. But Putin has a problem with that. The longer he stays in power, the more he drinks. It's become very hard to hide. A puffy face, slurred speech, delirium tremens.
But since they didn't give up the Danzig corridor, in the end they forced it, the Poles forced it, they got carried away and forced Hitler to start World War II with them. Why did the war begin with Poland on September 1st, 1939? They turned out to be uncooperative.
Absolutely wonderful. This is absolutely amazing. Brilliant.
A year ago, a significant event happened that almost no one paid attention to. Putin finally slipped up and admitted that he is an alcoholic. I
practically avoid alcohol. But I definitely try not to drink hard liquor, as I find it doesn't suit me very well. For what? Why? What's the point?
Everyone has long known, if Putin says something, you should take it to mean exactly the opposite.
Don't believe those who try to scare you with Russia, who shout that after Crimea, other regions will follow. We do not want the partition of Ukraine. We don't need that.
If Putin says he doesn't drink, it means he's drinking like there's no tomorrow. And that's a real problem, especially since it got worse after the catastrophic full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Failures and military disgrace have driven the Pale Master Manipulator to the bottom of the bottle. He tried to find his lost greatness. The fact that Putin is hitting the bottle is evident both in his deteriorating appearance and in the state of his
health. When a person's hands are shaking, they are unable to drink, but a Russian somehow can. That's for sure.
Alcohol irreversibly affects Putin's actions. He clearly has impaired cognitive and mental abilities. He can't adequately assess the real situation, and even discussions of important issues turn into a farce. At the last Valdai Forum, Pinya showed up completely drunk.
Why are you sending so many drones to Denmark exactly? And for what reason? I won't do it anymore. I won't do it again. I won't do it anymore. Not in France, not in Denmark, not in Copenhagen. Where else do you fly to? Not at all. Even for me, as a former officer of the Soviet Union's foreign intelligence, it was somewhat unexpected. What did I see as the CIA director, as the future director?
The first thing that stands out is that, to put it mildly, Putin is far from sober. And perhaps, in recent years, I can hardly recall even one other time or any other occasion when he appeared to be basically drunk. If
you evaluate all of Putin's fateful decisions from the perspective of his alcoholism, everything falls into place. Attacking a country of 45 million people, planning to capture it in a week. Bombing cities with Russian-speaking populations in order to protect the Russian-speaking population. Declaring Europe an enemy, even though Russia had excellent trade relations with it for decades. All of this can only be done in a drunken stupor.
It's impossible to drink all the vodka, but you have to strive for it.
Even now, after downing a bottle of vodka in his bunker, he pokes at the map with his finger and thinks everything will work out for him. Of course, there's a theory that Putin has many doubles and it's his banquet copy that's responsible for the alcoholism, but most likely, the banquet double is only brought out when the original is hooked up to an IV and can't even lift a glass himself.
They brought the same Putin as the one they took to Dagestan. Smaller, thinner, more slender, and shorter. For some reason, this one wasn't given the famous designer shoes with the professional Napoleonic heel. In Turginovo, they brought the banquet double surrounded by future governors.
The entire Kremlin elite follows the example of their boozy leader. Everyone there drinks heavily, from ministers and generals to deputy governors and ordinary mayors. The news outlet Verska conducted a study and found that during the war, Russian officials started drinking much more. They are under constant stress because of the so-called special military operation going according to plan, and they drown it in alcohol. According to a survey of people close to the administration, parliament, and regional authorities, most of the staff, government representatives, and public politicians they know, quote, have started drinking much more. And
You keep drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. They've hit rock bottom.
Before, in the presidential administration, the day would start with a glass of vodka. Now that glass has turned into a bottle. That's what the frontline reports do to people. Probably the most famous alco princess in Russia is Valentina Matviyenko, better known as Valka the Glass. Rumor has it that it was precisely her fondness for booze that propelled Matviyenko's dizzying career, because Valya never turned down a shot and eventually became the queen of banquets and party drinking sessions.
Decisions were always made for me, always, and I was in high demand.
It was during those times that she got the rather original nickname Valka the Glass. They say it was because she knew how to build informal, intra-party connections at drinking parties.
Now, Valya Chikushka is officially the third most powerful person in the country. And this ambassador of binge drinking is fully using her influence to promote a drunken lifestyle to the masses.
Vodka sales volume increased, but not because people started drinking more during the non-working weeks, but to use it as a disinfectant.
Like her pale boss, Matviyenko isn't shy about appearing in public tipsy, or even holding Federation Council meetings in that state.
Esteemed colleagues, the floor is yours.
Just a second, if you could wait for a moment, please.
I most certainly can, indeed.
Could you help me find the speech? Hello? Where is my performance?
All right, everyone. Let's do this now.
Speaks German with confidence.
To be fair, it should be noted that Matviyenko, while getting all of Russia drunk, is protecting her son from this. Rumor has it that Valya provides her son with a more powerful mood lifter.
After we show and count all the houses and apartments owned by Valentina Ivanovna, we will explain why, among other things, Matviyenko is also a caring mother who personally buys her son quality medicine for
Depression, which is a mental health condition. There is
the suggestion that Matviyenko, taking advantage of her official position, has set up an entire drug trafficking operation from South America. So to speak, only the best for the children.
To prolong the life of her drug-addicted son, Matviyenko took it upon herself to supply him with pure, unadulterated product, free from synthetic junk. So that her only son Seryoja wouldn't sniff any dirty trash, she decided to arrange deliveries of the purest cocaine straight from Argentina. In 2018, the press was rocked by a cocaine scandal involving the Argentine drug trafficking case.
The person who was caught with this large shipment was interrogated, and he said that the cocaine was intended specifically for Valentina Matviyenko.
Everyone in the Russian government drinks. General Hangover Gurulev, whose face shows exactly how many gallons of vodka he's downed since morning.
Everyone must pay their dues. It's written in the Constitution. Today we are law-abiding people, and our laws, what do we do with them? We follow them. Press drunks.
Maria Zakharova from the Russian Foreign Ministry, who should really be starring in videos with Mongol by now. But she's still the Kremlin's voice on the international stage. Let's be honest, if her bosses weren't drinkers themselves, would they really tolerate this clown in the media space? Of course not. But for them, that's normal, because both Putin and Lavrov are drunks. Lavrov has basically turned into an antisocial element. He's like some angry, aggressive drunk who causes a scene on the tram. Lavrov is constantly rude to journalists and foreign colleagues. And at the UN, they're already fed up with writing him fines for smoking in prohibited areas. According to political analyst Belkovsky, it turned out that Lavrov is not a brilliant diplomat, but an old drunk. He started going downhill precisely at the beginning of the full-scale war. The horse's psyche couldn't handle the shame. In the Russian regions, the situation with alcohol is even worse than in the Kremlin. There, away from media attention, governors and mayors are quietly drinking away what's left of Mordor. And the population isn't interested in politics and drinks out of joy that evil NATO hasn't yet made it to the wooden outhouse in their backwater town.
I would like to remind you that this video is created for entertainment purposes and contains elements of satire and irony. All facts and events are presented in a hyperbolized or exaggerated form to convey a comedic or dramatic effect. Our goal is not to mislead, but to highlight humor. Please take it with a smile.